Hey there gamers, Mark the Lone Gamer here. And no, this is not an episode of Lightwielder. This is actually just a little update video on Skyrim in general, which I am... wait, Lucian?
Good afternoon.
Well, wait here.
So long as you come back for me.
Alright. Yes, so this isn't a Lightwielder episode. It's really more of me telling you about some updates to the game. Well, my game in particular, not the game in general. For some reason, I just felt the need to look at the Nexus and check out some mods, what we could possibly... You know what? I've never seen Labyrinthian from this angle. That's awesome. And it actually doesn't look that large from here, but I guess it's because we're so high up. Wow. Alright, this is actually awesome. I've never seen this view before. Anyway, yes, so yeah, I thought about refreshing the game because we are going to continue doing LPs, roleplays on Skyrim for the foreseeable future. Especially since, well, my core audience here, basically most of you, come here basically just to watch Skyrim, it seems. No matter what else game I try to post, they usually don't get much views except for Skyrim, which I'm not entirely against. I'd like to someday hope that maybe some other LPs will prosper a bit, but you know what, whatever. It's good to be the Skyrim gamer, and there are channels who are totally about Skyrim, and they have a lot more viewers than this channel ever will have, I think. So there are a lot more people who can discover the channel, and that's fine, because once I post vids here, it'll most probably stay here while YouTube exists, hopefully. So it'll be a bit of a legacy. Why not? You know, maybe 10 years from now, some young person will discover these videos and just find entertainment, whatever. Anyway, I got off track. This is just a video about me talking about what mods I've added, and the most significant of which is the combat gameplay overhaul. So we can see it here. So it's called... So apparently it's... So for some reason the menu hasn't appeared yet. It should appear actually. But basically it's the combat gameplay overhaul, and that slight wobble that you see, it's a weird kind of wobble. It's because the mod adds in leaning. It's all about dodging. So the character actually leans when he turns or something. I'm not exactly sure why. The point is that the mod, the movement of the waist up, the body, the waist up, is actually separate from the rest of the body from the waist down. So I think this means that you can do power attacks, but you can change direction. So, which is actually kind of cool. And then you have the dodging. So it's kind of like Dark Souls. And you can actually add in iframes. I actually haven't done anything to that effect. I have my settings so far on default, so I don't know how effective dodges will be, except from just getting out of the way if an enemy is going towards you. But it's very easy to do. It's just, I think, tapping in the direction of the... If you're using a controller, it's just tapping in one direction. I know it's supposed to be double tap, but for me, it's basically you just tap in one direction. It's supposed to be the stealth button, or double tapping from the stealth position. But it seems easier to just press. So dodging is actually pretty easy. And another thing that it does is that you can change grips on your weapon. You can actually switch from two-handing or one-handing a weapon, whether it's a two-hander or not, which is actually kind of cool. So if you want extra power in a strike, even though you're holding a one-handed weapon, you can grip it with both hands and hit enemies like that. But for some reason, there it is. So combat gameplay overhaul. So if we set up the hotkey, so I set it to X, which is basically the execution key. And another thing is I want to take out the leaning effect when you're in third person. Yes, in first person I mean, because it kind of can make you sick. So
if dragons don't breed, as the College of Whispers claims, then surely if we keep killing them, eventually they should run out. Wishful thinking?
Yes, wishful thinking. So, if we are now in first person, we shouldn't have any leading effect. Oh, that's weird. You shouldn't have any effect. Why is this mod contradicting me? Yes, it's back. Why? Accept. Alright. Alright, that's better. And then, because we set the hotkey, if we press X while our weapon is drawn, as you can see, his stance has changed, and so if we hit, we'll use both hands. It's actually kind of cool, and that also changes the stance of two-handers, of two-handed weapon fighters. You can see here, let's put it away. If you call on Mule, let's go. Did I just... Alright. And Lucid, let's go as well.
Shall we move on?
Yes.
Let's get moving. I've got your back.
Let's pack up. Now this is, alright, so, you see, when Mule draws her weapon, she puts it on her shoulder, or in that stance, instead of the old way, which was at her waist. She'd have the weapon at her... Oh no, at her hip. I think this is actually a cooler stance for two-handed weapon users. And it's cool. Now, combat gameplay will of course be more apparent for... well, for fighters, for combat heavy characters. I even don't think that I'll change how Arius himself fights. I mean, we've seen him fight for more than 100 episodes, and I don't think we should change that much. Though I guess we could use the double-handed, the two-handed stance. That's not bad. Maybe he could actually use Volendrung and start training the use of two-handed weapons. It's actually cool. And I think you can actually wield Volendrung in one hand. It's the most badass mace. And you can actually. It is slower. But if you can still two-handed as usual. So you can potentially dual wield with two-handed great swords. Alright, let's test it out. Uh-oh, what the hell? Alright. Alright. Let's use our usual weapon. Kind of stupid. Right, stop hitting my... Ooh, what's that?
Sorted.
I've seen enough death to last 3 lifetimes. Yet I never tire of a good fight. What do you make of that?
You've got a bit of a problem? No. Because you're a born warrior. Anyway, yeah. So I think combat is just going to, for the most part, look a bit cooler. But, you know, I don't expect that there will be huge changes to the existing LPs. But I'm thinking that this will mostly benefit or greatly benefit future LPs which will have fighter characters who are actual fighters. Because, Hey, sorry. I'm fairly sure that these are...
I love a good fight.
Alright. Turning battle with one spell. Anyway, yes, so if we have a character like mercenary swordsman, or even just a spell sword, a real spell sword, rather than a mage who uses swords, it'll be more useful. So that just goes to show that I am committed to doing more RPs. I do want to do a straight fighter character because, I mean, Arius, while he is pretty much one of the strongest fighters, fighting characters I have made in this game, he's still basically a cleric. He is not a real or a dedicated fighter in that half of his fighting ability is or combat use is restoration spells. I'd like to have a character who really uses swords. I mean, I had a fighter before. It was Crom the Barbarian. Fortunately, that character file is lost because of game crashes. So I'd like someone like that. I'm not going to resurrect him, but I mean, his story is done. But I like a character, a fighter who is going to be a new...
Perhaps it's because of my Nord blood, but there's something about it that makes me feel alive.
Something about your blood makes you feel alive. That's what blood does. Um, I'm still trying to figure out what story, what character, what race. But basically, yeah, the story, what the next story will be, something interesting. One idea I was throwing around was inspired by one of the alternate starts. So you can be the best friend of Eric the Slayer. I was thinking the story would be that the two of them would leave Rorikstead to seek their fortune as mercenaries. And that would be the start. But it's just too limited. I mean, Eric the Slayer himself, the character, is just too limited. He doesn't say anything much except because he is a vanilla character. I mean, doing something like that would be... I mean, Lucian here is more a character that is so much more suited for role plays. That's why I like him so much. He can be a fighter, he can be a mage, and you can just bounce things off him, and he has his own goal, which goes with you. And that's something that you unfortunately cannot do with vanilla characters, because you'd have to give them a voice yourself. But I say that that would be just trying to do a storyline like Mortis, where I play dual characters, but just putting one character into another body instead of the way that Mort has his dialogues in his own head, which is just a bit more tedious. I mean, it could work if I have two custom characters who I could give voices to, but why would they sound the same? Unless I really try to make their voices or accents different, and it would just compound my schizophrenia to voice two different characters instead of two voices in one character's head. It would just be weird, but probably not impossible. Anyway, as usual, I do welcome suggestions, but I just want to say that I'd like to avoid ideas which are based on just character builds, solely on character builds. There was someone before, it was a long time ago, that someone keeps suggesting to me that I do martial arts monk playthrough, and if it's just a character who just uses the martial arts style in Skyrim, I just feel that there's not much story there. It's just, and the novelty of seeing a character use the unarmed combat mods would wear out in a few episodes, or probably just one season, one run of episodes, maybe for one quest line, unless the unarmed combat tree is really that deep, or there are lots of skills in the perk tree, or lots of tactics which will just get better. But otherwise, yeah, I'm not. It doesn't appeal to me to just do an LP of a character just based solely on their fighting style. I mean, Arius is interesting because there's his life as a cleric, his relationship with RK, his mission, his being an Imperial, and just him learning to be more human, or be less stiff than when he starts off in Skyrim, being exposed to people like his followers, his friends, his allies, and the quests he undertakes. So it's not just the class, or it's not just the mods. I don't want to do RPs based on single mods or whatever. In any case, I'm still thinking of what we can do. Even though there are lots of other, we still have lots more to do for Mortis and for Lightwielder. Mortis in particular.
Good to see you. At least you know how to treat someone properly.
Alright. So, yeah.
Bye now.
Anyway, aside from the combat gameplay mod overhaul, I've also added several other mods. One of them is voltage, which slightly changes the look of shock spells. So you'll see that mostly on Mort. I've also added Citizens of Tamriel, which is very similar to so many Conjure Hellhound spells, which is very similar to interesting NPCs. It adds about 40 new NPCs throughout Skyrim, and they have various stuff to say. They have lots of stuff to say, and I think it's very dialogue based, and supposedly it should be very fun to find these NPCs. I mean, they even have stuff to say when you kill them, apparently, but I don't know if you'll ever see that, because I don't like killing NPCs not without cause, or unless the character is an evil character. So far, none of my characters are outrightly evil, not even, of course, not even Mort. Tis, on the other hand, though, but that's a different story. And there are apparently some new followers as well. That's what I want to see, because I am wanting to see new characters as followers. I'm thinking of adding a mod called Luna Shadow, which is a custom voiced. Whoa, you're large. Oh, thank you. Oh, Legion, thank you. Long live the Empire, long live the Emperor. Alright. Yeah, you want healing? Can I heal you? No, you're fine. Yeah, it's a custom voice follower. She apparently has locational awareness, quest awareness. She has lots of things to say. Unfortunately, I don't think she has interactions with characters like Inigo or Lucian or even vanilla NPCs, because I think the character or the voice actress who also created the character isn't really a modder. Someone else did the mod for her. And I think the character of Luna Shadow actually appears in another mod. It's Rigmore Bruma, which I've heard about or read about, but haven't used it because I think it's kind of complicated. But anyway, aside from that, I also added some new creature mods, which I guess I shouldn't spoil, but suffice to say that in the future we'll probably see some new monster types, or variations of existing monsters. Hello? Yeah. Aside from that, I updated some of the other mods. I have a Draugr overhaul mod that I updated. I think that's about it. I think as of right now, I have about 150 plugins or mods installed in my load order. I'm not sure if that includes graphic mods or mods that change textures. So these are probably mods that don't really affect the load order much. such as character models and stuff. But I think the game can handle up to 240 plus plugins in total. I could actually post some more. I don't want to overload my game, of course. I don't and risk crashing or destroying my game. But I'm always looking for mods that will refresh the game, make it a bit more fresh, more interesting. So anyway, I think we should go somewhere a bit more quiet. Anyway, I think that's all I need to say in this video. Lately I've been posting several Cyberpunk 2077 vids, even though it's apparently very niche. We don't enjoy many views, but you know what? I'm committed to doing that series, and we're at a pretty crucial point in the story of the game. So I'm going to post quite a few vids more frequently. Whoa, someone is casting Electro Spear. That's new. Anyway, but don't worry, Skyrim fans. Of course, we will continue our Skyrim roleplays. What the hell? Alright. So, where are you? Imperial soldier. No one bound you. You can't tell who's up. Oh! Yeah. The Starbow leader. We haven't declared ourselves on one side or the other, so we shouldn't fight. The dragon. Anyway, I am liking that
there's no escape. Yes, because it's snowing.
I'm liking that Skyrim, being such an old game at this point, still looks amazing, and I can do so much for it with it. And you know, since we won't be getting the Elder Scrolls 6 anytime soon, we're stuck with Skyrim for the foreseeable future. And well, I just hope that you people continue to watch my videos, to watch my roleplays, and I'll just keep doing them. And someday, hopefully, we'll be playing the next Elder Scrolls game as well. Anyway, I think that's all I need to say here. It's been Mark the Lone Gamer, and I will be seeing you all in our next videos, be they for Cyberpunk 2077 or Skyrim or whatever. Take care, and well, let's meet the new year safely.